This episode of Nintendo Pow Block is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network and see which tier is right for you. Thanks for your continued support. Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host and Light Excited Eddie Reed. Joining me is the one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Derrick. Hello, good sir.
Hello.
Corey, we are 1 week out from PAX West.
Yeah, how about that, huh? How about that?
Yeah, flights are booked, Airbnb's paid for. We're still getting our schedules and everything together. But I'm super excited for PAX West. And definitely to be in Seattle. It'll be very interesting. I know you're preparing things on your side. I'm getting things ready on my side. So it's going to be such an interesting time for it. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to? Just one thing.
Man, I'm just looking forward to just being there with everybody, to be honest. I've been so busy trying to do like double and triple up on recordings for us because of we're gonna try to take a week or two off after PAX. So like really doubling down on recording. We're recording on Friday. I said podcast this week. And next week I have at least 5. So, I gotta get some sleep. That's all. And I also have to edit them all and finish Ocarina of Time before next Friday because of book club. And look, all I'm saying is I'm glad the next 2 book clubs I don't have to be on.
I think one is Dead Space.
One's Dead Space, and right now the other one. So what we're doing is for patrons for September and October, which means October, November for free feeds.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing horror themed book clubs. So the first one is Dead Space, which patrons voted on. If you want to vote on book club, you can join our Patreon at the silver tier. Yes. You can vote on it. And then right now for October/November, it is a tie between MEO the Smiling Man and Layers of Fear. So they are neck and neck. They're tied with 3 votes apiece. So if you want to break that tie, better go vote. Go vote,
dude. It's so crazy. So I had to put Star Wars Outlaws on hold to next month. I got Visions of Mana to next month, Emio to next month, and then I got Echoes of Wisdom, and it's just like
I mean, that week Zelda comes out, there's 5 games alone coming out that week.
What else
there's Epic Mickey, there's Zelda, there's Lollipop Chainsaw, there's
the Squire game I think comes
Lucky Spot. Yeah, the Lucky Squire or Sprite, that's what it's called. Lucky Squire. Yeah. Comes out the week before. And it's crazy. There's so many games. Hold on. I found a new site that tells you which games are coming out. It's not as good as Game Informers, but it's serviceable. I think it's GameSpot's upcoming video games list. GameSpot. Yep. So they do it by month. So awesome. What is it? September? Okay.
Yeah.
So the week of Zelda, Ed. I gotta find it. So Reynatus was the other game coming out. That weird Astral Chain Persona thing that's coming out. that I'm looking forward to, but probably won't
Hmm.
get because there's priorities. So it's Renatus, Legend of Zelda, uh, uh, Disney Epic Mickey, and Lollipop Chainsaw, and the Karate Kid, in case you were cared.
Oh no.
And then the week before is the Dead Rising remaster, the Plucky Squire. Don't forget Funko Fusion.
Oh.
Gosh, that trash. Oh, they moved Lollipop Chainsaw up 2 weeks. Okay. So
In
Lollipop Chainsaw is
September.
coming out on the 12th now.
Okay.
And Yars Rising comes out on the 10th. So yeah.
Awesome. Ooh.
The embargo for Yars Rising is the day the game comes out. So I'm a little concerned, but also it's way forward, so it's probably fine.
Yeah.
What a weird franchise to just, I don't know, man. What a strange franchise to attach to a Metroidvania and give it to Way Forward.
Way forward. But you
I'm
gotta
not.
realize.
It's not Way Forward's fault. It's just like Atari has all these IP that nobody has cared about for 40 years, and now they're
Yeah.
trying to like bring them back in these strange ways. And like, look, I'm all for it. It's super colorful. It's beautiful. It looks fun. It's just like, man, nobody's cared about Yars since Yars Revenge. So
And the thing with Way Forward is, shout out to them, is that they did help with Bloodstain, and they got the Shantae games, so they're knowledgeable in the Metroidvania games. Even the one that the D make they did of goodness, what is the D make they did?
are you talking about the Mummy?
Yeah,
The Mummy Demastered or whatever?
Demastered. Yeah,
Man, what a great game. Also, I kind of liked the movie. But I've been told that I don't like good movies, or I like bad movies. That's how that works.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways.
I went to go see Alien Romulus. Me and David have been talking. We're definitely gonna be talking about it when I go meet him. But it really
You guys should do
is
a spoiler cast on site.
We might have to.
And then
I
we'll
think
throw it up as something.
We may have to, because he already
Do it.
He went to go see it. He went to go see it twice. I'm gonna hit him up.
Do it. Oh my gosh, do it. Sorry. Do it.
No,
do it.
That would help with content. So
yeah,
it's that movie was good.
I believe you.
There were some problems here and there, but and I'm just gonna say this, everybody, and it's not so much a spoiler, but the lighting and the shadow, like the shadows and just definitely the lighting and the shadows look like they came from a Naughty Dog game. Like Naughty Dog helped do the lighting, and this is not shade to Naughty Dog or anything, but it was really, really good with a lot of the lighting and the shadows and the colors that they use. I'm like, oh, this is very The Last of Us Part 2-ish. I'm like, I'm here for this, because that game does have some great lighting and like color and use of color. Like I will give Naughty Dog that for that game. It's the lighting. But yeah, and
I feel like this is slowly becoming a movie podcast.
Oh, because of Deadpool and everything. I mean, well, kind of the big ones are out: Deadpool, Borderlands, and Alien Romulus. And Borderlands is still playing. Inside Out 2 was playing, and Despicable Me. When I went to go see Alien, it was like packed with kids, like, and parents. I'm like, oh, okay, y'all gonna go see that? All righty then. So yeah. And I'll talk about what I have for Snacktendo, because I actually tried something at the movie theater that was really good. But I definitely would say. So I would leave that.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been a busy boy. Everybody just working like crazy, and uh, I do have some uh content that's out. Everybody, and I'll tell you that in a few. But
You
Corey,
do?
how about yes? Um,
Am I missing it?
no, you're not missing it. It's
Oh.
nothing too big or something. So,
Oh.
uh, I'll tell. So,
You say so.
but how about how we get into this housekeeping?
Yeah. Uh yeah.
Right. If you want to support Nintendo Pow Block, let's start that all over again.
Wow.
If you want to support Nintendo Pow Block and our other podcasts, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Network. Subscribing to tiers on our Patreon can grant you perks like the new exclusive post shows, voting rights for Spoilercast and Video Game Book Club, exclusive question threads for Spotlight Podcast, early access to After Dark, and more. As always, though, your viewership and listenership is enough for us. Subscribe to the Boss Rush Network on YouTube and like this video. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or even if you don't, leave us a rating and a nice review on those platforms. You can find all of our banters, features, list of codes, reviews, and more on our website, bossbrush.net. Okay, so my content, everybody. I asked some questions like 2, 3 podcasts this past week, and those are available. So there's a podcast called Fine Time Podcast. I have a question up there, and the question was about: do you think Nintendo is saving the fall and holiday this year, and have they been doing it for the last 7 years? I asked another podcast with Devin Cox on it, PSVG. I asked them, do you think Microsoft and Sony will fear Nintendo's next console if the exclusives, the console sales, and the game sales like were really high, like they and like they kept they're still king, and they're just being very successful, and like how does that affect them? Um, about Nintendo's success. So you guys can listen to them on that podcast. And then my last one, I put to the PlayStation generation. That's from the console creatures. So do go check them out. And I kind of asked them really a PlayStation question. And I asked them, what genre do you connect them to with their generation of consoles? Like PS2 was the role playing game, or JRPGs, where PS3 was the cinematic action adventure kind of games and stuff. So you guys could check that out. But yeah, I asked all three of them those questions since they've been asking questions and stuff. So you can hear my questions being answered on 3 different podcasts. So
Hmm.
that is my content and
Nice.
everything. I, I I kind of feel like when I ask questions, they're like long and definitely Nintendo related in some sense.
Shocker. They're Nintendo related.
uh, so, but
Uh,
I think, I, I, but I think the thing I I still feel like Nintendo's not being recognized for their success at times.
hmm.
You know, and I'm just like, the way that they treated Xbox and PlayStation during their times of big success and still continued success in their own way. Nintendo is still not getting that shine, even though they're kind of leading in the gaming sphere. Um, they're kind of like the richest company in Japan at this time on with cash. Um, their Wii U game Mario Kart 8 is still selling. Like it's half of, close to half, or even past like half of um the console sales, the Switch sales and stuff. Like the only game that's rivaling it though is like GTA 5, I think, because but that's on a multi-platform sense. Like for we're talking about one exclusive, but that would be exclusive to Nintendo, I would say. If in reality, the leading game I would probably say would be Animal Crossing. for Switch would probably be the leading first party game with the highest sales.
Mm.
Because I'm like Mario Kart 8, I'm like, that's Wii U and Switch. Even though Switch it by itself
It's like
hit that high
that's
number.
like half the Switch's library.
Right.
Uh,
So
Not that I'm complaining, but facts are facts. So,
yes.
man.
So
If everybody would just bought a Wii U.
So how about we get into some Snacktendo?
What if I had content to promote, Ed?
Oh, go ahead, promote, Corey. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, it's fine. You don't want me
No,
to. It's fine.
no, go promote.
No big interviews or anything. It's
Go and
cool.
promote.
It's fine.
Promote.
So we did a 2.5 hour podcast with Jeff Gardner the other night, the former producer of Fallout and Elder Scrolls, and he was the project lead on Fallout 76 through Wastelanders, and now he has his own studio called Something Wicked Games, and he's working on an RPG called Weird Song, and we talked to him for 2.5 hours the other night. I was planning on like an hour, and I asked him 3 separate times, are you good on time? When do we need to wrap up? Like all these, he just kept talking. I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to stop the man from talking. Okay. I'm not going to stop him. So, it was awesome. He's such a great dude.
Where they at? PAX East?
No.
Where have I heard that name before?
Because we did a spotlight with him last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I thought he was at PAX East.
LaRon and I did a spotlight with him last year. No, they're not at PAX. They're not going to PAX. They also announced their game on opening night live 2 years ago, I think.
Okay.
So, but yeah, he was very open and honest about everything. It was kind of refreshing. It was not the PR BS that you hear all the time of like, can't really answer that question. And it was like, he was very open and honest about everything. There was some stuff in there that like, he's had a lot of great things to say, but there was also a lot of things in there about the industry and even his own experiences that like people would not talk about. It was awesome. It was so awesome. We talked about crunch. We talked about the state of the industry. We talked about layoffs. We talked about, budgets and all that kind of stuff. It was awesome. So it was me, LaRon, and Josh Finney joined us. And next week on Tuesday, which will have already happened by the time you heard this, we're recording 2 Boss Rush podcasts on Tuesday. We're recording the first one with Jacob McCourt, who is running video game trivia at PAX, that the panel that Stephanie is on.
Yes.
And then right after that, we are recording another one with voice actor Nick Apostolides of Resident Evil fame.
You guys got him back. Awesome.
Yeah, Stephanie did. So shout out to Stephanie for doing that.
I wonder what he's been up to. He's kind of been like quiet for a while and everything.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll try to squeeze a Resident Evil 9 thing out of him.
Good luck on that one.
I know. But yeah, there's a lot of other cool stuff coming up. We're going to be doing stuff at PAX. I'm hoping to line up some interviews at PAX. If not with developers, at least our friends, right? Like I know Roger's going, and
yeah,
there's a lot.
Grayson's going to be there.
Is Grayson going?
Grayson is going. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So, because I'm
gonna stalk Phil Spencer on Friday after the panel and corner him.
I would love to meet him and just have a talk. And more.
Yeah, right. That's not going to happen.
I know, but more of it, just the talk of gratitude. Of like, just being open and honest,
Yeah,
and like,
he's sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, go ahead.
He's in like an unwinnable situation, and I mean, like he's doing what he thinks is best without, but like also like the Microsoft overhead is like, you know, if he was running a publisher that wasn't owned by Microsoft, I feel like Xbox would have been where they want to be by now, you know,
Hmm.
in a way. Uh, but yeah. Anyways,
I mean, definitely, I was just thinking, I'm just like, thank you for me personally, thank you for the relationship that you and Nintendo have, because I mean, Microsoft and Nintendo has, and regardless of what people say or think, I'm like, I think it's so cool, and I'm just like, thank you for opening up gaming and stuff. So it'd be more of a gratitude and just like straight thank yous and stuff.
hmm
And then I'd be like, some of your shirts though, I do need to find. I'm like, I do need to find, because I'm like you do be wearing some amazing shirts, and I know you only have them for you, but I'm just like, I appreciate the
custom
t-shirts that you wear.
custom printed for Phil before
Hmm.
every announcement, and then he burns them. Fun fact: he
That's
just he
that's
burns them out back.
That's why when I see a Numa stuff, Zelda stuff, I'd be like, "Sir, why are you serving us? Why do I need the shirt?"
Well,
Everything.
Miyamoto shirts are limited edition on the Nintendo store every time he wears one.
Edition.
Those Pikmin shirts.
Paper shirts is hot. I had to order one.
What was the other one that he had on that they had on? I don't remember. Dude, my brain is fried. Okay, I'm trying to like, woo. Uh, there's some more things coming up. I don't want to announce anything before it happens, so
Okay.
I don't want to jinx it. But I
Yeah.
think some cool things are going to happen, and I'm very excited, especially if they do happen. So I'll leave it at
Yay.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Partially why I haven't gotten to my PAX emails yet. But it's fine.
And which I am getting to and everybody, because I'm super excited. I think what I'm going to enjoy about this PAX West is that it's a lot of new developers that wasn't at East. So there's new people I'm going to be meeting and interviewing. So I'm super excited. And of course, everybody, I'm going to bring the Nintendo questions also for it.
You
So
are.
of course, yes, I am.
Yeah, we're gonna record a Pow Block on site too. Um, so
Yes.
I'm excited for
If
that.
we meet any more voice actors or celebrities, of course, check out bossrush.net. You guys will uh get to see our write ups and see us talk about
Yeah, yeah,
who would come in the coffee shop this time.
well, Ben Starr might be there again. He just announced he was playing something in someone, right? Or someone in something, right? Playing something in someone. Jeez, gross. Uh, or not gross, depending on who you are or what you're into. It's fine.
What
No
if he
judgment
was
here.
there? What if he was there? We all seen him again. He'd be like, "Hey, I seen you guys at PAX East in Boston." It'd be like, he remembers us.
I mean,
Yes.
that would be cool, but I mean, dude, he meets 8,000 people a day. Like, he's
Hmm.
not gonna remember. I don't expect anybody to remember who we are. I mean, especially like with months and months and months in between. So,
Yeah.
uh, it would be cool though. Like, I don't know. I want to sit down and like interview people for just like 10 minutes, you know.
Hmm.
And the cool thing though is like Capcom and Nintendo will be there. Um, Monster Hunter will be there, which uh Monster Hunter will be there. um,
What's on the
so
wild?
I will send a full report to Laurent.
Yes.
So and I hope Nintendo brings more than just Pokemon and Mario Kart and Splatoon,
Yes.
even though I know that's all they're bringing because it's Nintendo.
It's
It's fine though.
they might.
Maybe they'll bring some
I
amiibo.
I wonder if they're gonna have Emio since it releases that week. I mean, they got the demo coming out. Um,
Yeah,
but I just wonder.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
Because I was like, I'd be like, "Are y'all selling this actually at Packers of True?" They was just like, "We got the PAX edition." I'm like, "I need to get in line."
Yeah, I need to look at the exhibitor list again. I have not. Dude, I've been so busy. I just haven't had time to look at anything, and I feel so behind. And I see people posting stuff in the Discord, and
Mhm.
it's just like I'm just so far behind.
Me too.
And
So,
with the Atari mess that David and I were dealing with, like, man,
uh, yeah.
they didn't respond to me after I sent that we'll say questionable email.
Well, it is
Well,
what it is.
don't
Yeah.
don't send an email asking if we want to interview Digital Eclipse and then send us a reply that says, "We're sorry, you can't interview Digital Eclipse because of this reason." And David and I were both like, "Well, then why did you send that email to everybody?" Don't send the email to everybody. It's not Atari's fault. It's I think Uber Strategist is their thing, and like I have a good relationship with most people at Uber Strategist, right? Like
Mhm.
CJ and Sean because of Destiny, but like I don't know, man. I wrote a email that it wasn't mean. We'll say it was firm. So I kind of felt bad after I sent it, but then I was like, well, what are they going to do? Tell me I can't go to the Atari booth? I already did it. Haha, already on our YouTube channel. Just kidding. But
Yes.
seriously, Atari's great. I really am looking forward to the Atari booth, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I definitely a lot of. I think once again for me, it's a lot of indie stuff
Mhm.
that I'm looking forward to. Like yes, Capcom and Nintendo and stuff like the big AAA third party, first party stuff. I'm definitely looking forward to. Um, but like I kind of there's like some board game stuff that I might even go look at and stuff. So I'm very interested. The emails are still coming in, so I'm still trying to get all of that. Um,
Yeah,
so
I'm. Man, there are so many exhibitors. Bandai Namco will be there. I'm looking at some of the names that I recognize. Capcom, obviously. Um, man, Final Fantasy 14 is going to have a whole booth again. Larian's going to have a whole booth again. Jeez. No
yeah,
offense. Baldur's Gate's not getting DLC. I feel like that game has done what it needed to do. I feel like everybody I don't know why they're wasting marketing dollars on a booth. Your game did great. You're done. Sorry.
yeah,
I as somebody who works in marketing and as somebody who pays attention to this industry where dollars count, every bit of those dollars count towards a budget, right? Like
yes,
why your game is out and it did well. Don't waste your money on it like in the most one of the most expensive cities. Whatever. Congratulations, Larian. I'm glad you have some money to burn. Uh, I know, that sounded really mean, didn't it? I didn't mean it to.
no,
I
they're
meant it as like
just
it was supposed to be a compliment, but it felt really backhanded. I'm sorry.
they're working on their next game, so
Two games, which neither of them are Baldur's Gate 4. So,
exactly,
but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they did well, and I'm glad they. You know what the most surprising thing is like it would be so easy for them to tap out, right? Or not tap out, sell out, right? And do Baldur's
hmm
Gate 4 and just take on Baldur's Gate until like the wheels fall off. But they
right.
were like, no, we did what we wanted to do with the IP. We're done. We're going back. We're going to go do our own thing. What
And
a,
plus they had
what,
early access for Baldur's Gate 3, so
what a,
just
yeah,
like
but what a move though. What a move. Uh, Marvelous will be there. Nintendo will be there. Uh, Man, Path of Exile still going. Uh,
hmm
Surprise! Pokemon has two booths, guys. Surprise!
yep.
I guess
So
when you make $13.8 billion off of merchandise alone.
coin,
Jeez, I know,
good
right?
coin.
I know. gosh, Anchar will be there, which we did the last time. Astral Clock Tower, I gotta stop by there.
Astro Clock
Because
Tower.
yeah, Stephanie and I interviewed them, and they were so great too. And I just want to say hello. I should probably introduce myself to some of these people that everybody's interviewed except for me. I feel bad that I feel like I'm at this point where like everybody is doing the work that I should probably be doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel bad. So like I feel like I at least need to introduce myself. And maybe that's an egotistical thing. I don't know. Maybe I should just shut up now.
Oh wow.
We should probably talk about Nintendo.
Well, everybody.
Donuts.
Ooh.
I'm just looking at this fan gamers that store. Finji will be there. What's Finji have? That's the Tunic studio, right? Or no, that's the publisher. I guess. I wonder what they have. I'm looking at these. We can continue. I'm just looking at the things now.
All right.
Studios.
Where everybody? It's time for Snacktendo. And Corey, I'm going to start the Snacktendo.
Great.
So I have kind of two new snacks, everybody. So Swedish Fish has a Snapple flavor. Swedish Fish.
I thought you were stopping
good.
I thought you were stopping at Swedish Fish, and I was gonna be like, Ed, I have some bad news for you. Swedish Fish are like 75 years old.
No, they have a Snapple flavor that's really good. I recommend. I think it's probably the best over the original one and the tropical one. They literally taste like Snapple, like flavor wise. For those who drink like the regular Snapple, not so much the zero, but the regular Snapple, it tastes just like this. And definitely when they're fresh, and you can just bite into it, and it feels like it's melting in your mouth, even though it's gummy. Man, I one of the best candies I tasted this summer. Like, so I do hope they continue their partnership, and keep that going. My second one, uh, as everybody know, like I said, I went to the movies, and I normally get some nachos and cheese, but this time I got pizza, at the theater. Um, and it was really good. It was like a kind of, um, I would say it's like my size pizza, like a medium kind of size pizza. Not medium as in like Domino's or Little Caesars, not that big and stuff. But it had good crust. Uh, I got pepperoni. Pepperoni was good, Corey. It was. I know you like yours really crispy, right? The pepperoni.
Yeah. The only thing about pepperoni I don't like are like I love crispy pepperoni, but I also can't do like the little like teeny tiny pepperonis that turn into little cups full of grease.
Curve. The
Can't
curve
do that.
ones.
Can't do
No.
that. Nope.
So
Pass. Hard
so
pass.
so this was straight. All of these were just straight pepperoni, but it was really crisp. With it, man, it was so good. I was just watching the movie, eating it. Um, I skipped most of the previews and everything because I was waiting on my pizza. It took 10 minutes to make. I'm like, that's fine, no problem. Uh, and just watching the movie, eating that good on pizza. Really, really good. So, Cinemark is where I went to. Uh, and yeah, they got good pizza and everything. And I got some M&Ms and a cherry Coke with it. Every time I go to the movie theater and they have cherry Coke, that's the drink I always go for. And if they don't have it, then I'll do like Sprite or something. Because I don't think Pepsi is in movie theaters. I think it's a lot of Coke products there and stuff. I think if I go to the like the cheap theaters, I would call them, and it'd be like, oh, they're showing these two movies and everything, and the refreshment stand is like 7 Up or some homemade drinks and stuff. I would like get some snacks there too and everything. If they got like RC Cola or something like that, which is 7 Up, I remember get like Dr Pepper or something like that.
Hmm.
So that's what I have been snacking on. What about you, Corey?
Well, last weekend we celebrated my brother-in-law's birthday, and they ordered like a bunch of like barbecue type food, like southern barbecue food. Like they had ribs and brisket and pulled pork and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, and mac and cheese and cornbread and all the stuff, right? All the stuff that people like from, the South. And so I had some mac and cheese with some pulled pork on it. um so that's kind of, it's kind of it, honestly. uh yeah, that's kind of it. So um i um I have a confession, Ed, and I think I've said it before a few times on various shows, but I don't like barbecue food. I don't like barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like I like grilling, like barbecue, like on the grill, but I don't like this, like the barbecue sauce or like traditional barbecue
Mm-hmm.
food, I guess.
Like hamburgers and
Well,
hot dogs, you could do, but
yeah,
it's
I'm
like
talking I'm talking about like
like rib
you,
tips and
like when the stuff is like drenched in sauce, and like,
mm-hmm.
you know, the mac and cheese is like, it's more cheese than noodle type thing, and it's just like,
Yeah.
man, that stuff just I don't know, doesn't sit well with me, you know.
Well, I think for you, where probably for Ohio, it doesn't seem like it's more of a. It doesn't have a barbecue feel to the state.
Oh, it
Would you
sure
say
does. It sure does.
it does? Oh,
Hmm. Yeah. Uh yeah, it's yeah. I
is
don't
it
really know where
different
else to go
parts
with
of?
that, but
Is it different parts of Ohio that like have a big kind of like love? I don't
well,
want to say affection, but like a love for barbecue.
Cleveland is really known for their Reubens, but like there's this one place in the flats that has like, it's like a Reuben with like this crazy sauce, and they put french fries on it. I gotta see what that's called. Hold on.
Because definitely for hood
Famous.
people like me, we have a rib shack, and so like when it comes to barbecue, because we only really do barbecue outside that kind of stuff like during the summer, but throughout the rest of the year, if there is like a rib shack or something in the hood, we'll get barbecue from them. Like in this store, and it's mostly like rib tips and coleslaw fries and stuff.
Yeah. Um, let's see. There it is. The no, that's not it. I'm sorry. This is taking me forever. Oh well. Uh, the there's a corned beef sandwich at a place called Sly Man's, and it's just full of corned beef and Swiss cheese, and
Hmm.
you can either get, coleslaw or sauerkraut on it. Um,
Ugh, don't like sauerkraut at
and
all.
they serve it with a whole pickle and French fries. You can get French fries on it if you want. Um,
Okay.
Also, the pastrami sandwich. Um, it's called the larder. it's just it's just thick pieces of pastrami just laid on a sandwich.
Oh wow.
This
I
stuff doesn't.
know,
This stuff. See, this is the stuff that doesn't do anything for me either. You know. Uh, yeah. Anyways.
like I know barbecue chicken is something that we do. Um,
Yeah.
But that's definitely more of a summer grilling kind of thing. Like there's not a lot of places who do barbecue chicken and stuff. And if it is, like you said, it's like
Hmm.
all drenched in barbecue sauce and stuff. It's not like cooked on the grill and then but cooked with like, have some kind of dip of barbecue on it and stuff.
Hmm.
It's not like that. Um
Yeah. Oh, this is the one I was looking for. The Polish boy, um, from a place called Banter. Uh, and this restaurant is in Cleveland and Shaker Heights, which is like close to Cleveland. Uh,
okay.
it's the barbecue pulled pork, chicken, all this like pulled chicken and all this stuff
Hmm.
with uh you can either get coleslaw or kraut, and it's got the fries on it and sliced onions, like sliced red onions. Oh, that's the sandwich I'm looking for. And they're served on Hawaiian sweet rolls.
Ah,
So
yes.
uh, that's what I
We
was looking
actually
for.
in Wisconsin, they sell the Hawaiian rolls, but they also sell like the Hawaiian burger rolls, hot dog buns, and like regular bread and
Hmm.
and that taste and stuff. I'm like, ooh, so
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
everything. But I'm definitely with the Hawaiian like bread. Um, I, once again, I still love making little sandwiches with that and everything. So and
Yeah.
they're good for sloppy joes, like mini sloppy joes. People
Mm.
want to do that throughout the holiday. So
I feel myself gaining weight just talking about this stuff, and I don't even like this food.
yeah. Well, everybody, it's time for playing with power. Great. What have you been playing with power?
Honestly, not much different from last week. I've been playing Ocarina of Time and Wolfenstein. I don't really have anything new to say about them. Uh, Also because I've played so little of them this week that there's nothing
Mhm.
really new to talk about. Uh, you know, I'm trying to get stuff done, Ed, and you know, it's games have fallen by the wayside, unfortunately. But this weekend, I'm hoping to get back to it, and I'm going to try to get some of this stuff edited tomorrow during the day and play games tomorrow night and
Yes.
wipe my hands of it.
Whoop, whoop. Yes. Well, for me, everybody, I'm playing Rune Factory 4 on Switch. I had this game for almost 2 years, I should say. And I played a little bit of it, but haven't really like fully committed. So I just got back to it. So I'm doing a lot of farming. I just beat one boss. And the boss ended up turning to be a little girl, who's now staying in my town. I'm still doing favors. I'm growing turnips. I haven't been able to craft any weapons or anything, but I am progressing the story, so I am enjoying it. And secondly, I've been playing Evo Land Legendary Edition, and what this is it's a role playing game that is, I would say, paying homage to JRPGs, and a particular one that kind of was on the biggest one that was on PS1, I said, with a little bit of Nintendo flair of a role playing game that, let's just say, a movie is in production right now. So, uh, what's cool about this is that you kind of start out in like a 8-bit sense, and every time you get a chest or certain times you open up a chest, it evolves the game. So you could get that 8-bit to 16-bit. um you could get it into turn based. You can get it top head. You can get it have HD graphics. um uh at one point, we don't even get a experience point bar or anything. Like and everything. You could just be fighting and never know how much you need to grind and stuff. Like you don't even know how much money that you have. You got to open up a chest and get that kind of information to be applied to your game and stuff.
Mm.
So it's a very interesting game. I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm playing both games on Switch, and I'm it's mixing a little things from Square, like I said, with a little bit of Nintendo into it. So I am enjoying it and stuff. And it does have a card game, but I haven't tried it or anything. So, but Evil Land Legendary Edition is what I'm playing on Switch. I will be starting another game on Switch once I beat those two. Because I'm kind of playing them every day and I'm making a lot of progress. And so, once those games are done, I'll be trying to get back into definitely some of my first party games, like finishing up Three Hopes, for Fire Emblem, um, Bayonetta Origins, Bayonetta 3, Rain Code. I want to get into, like, there's a lot of games that I want to play on my Switch. And then get to my collection of Mana so I could play the original Trials of Mana while also playing Trials of Mana, the remake. I want to get back into that and beat that game. So, yeah. I'm kind of in like RPG mode for my Switch with a little
Nice.
bit action here and there. So
Yeah, I'm getting into this kind of mood to play something kind of meaty, but not like you know, not like a shooter or something, but just like a
mm-hmm.
really easygoing kind of RPG. And since I'm not doing the next two book clubs, I'm gonna take a week or so to kind of wrap up some games that I haven't finished yet, like Link's Awakening and Mario 3D World, and I guess technically I finished Mario 3D World, but I'm doing the 100% run, right? The
Mm-hmm.
stars. So I'm gonna try to complete that. Uh, but I'm gonna try to maybe sit down and play. So Xenoblade is the first thought, but
Yeah.
also my somehow my daughter saw the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer um from like 2018 or 20 whatever,
Yeah.
and it opens with Frozen and Tangled, which are two of her favorite movies, and then it has the Toy Story stuff in the trailer, which my son loves. And so I told her it was a video game and she wants to watch me play Kingdom Hearts. So I'm like debating on whether or not
If so,
I should do.
I have 3 installed on my Series X.
Oh, I'm
So
starting from the beginning if I'm playing
for
through.
the okay. Um
I'm gonna play them in release order, Edward. Ugh.
yes.
Mm,
I
maybe.
I still haven't played the Game Boy DS, and like the handheld ones I still haven't played.
Well, good
Like
news,
I
Ed.
said,
They're on the collection.
yes. Um, I already did one. I already did two. So, like I said, I need to start 3 on my Series X. Like I said, just being in that RPG mode and stuff.
Yeah,
Move.
I still have Xenoblade circled on my list though. I kind of want to start that now. Since I've been talking about playing it for almost a year now and I haven't started. So, you know.
It, I just have man. I don't know why I've been watching Mega Man videos, and it's just like, do I want to get into Mega Man? Like I could actually say from like 4 to 10, I've never beaten it. But, well, 8 I have. I beat it 8. Mega Man 8 I have. But 4 to 7, 9 to 10, and 11 I haven't beaten. I'm just like, I'm like, do I want to do a Mega Man run and go through the first game and just play them all the way straight?
Wow.
Because I
Really?
have the whole collection on my Series X. and
Mhm.
I have some of them on my Switch, but I'm like, I might do it on just my Series X.
Do it.
So
You know what throws me? You know what throws me off about Kingdom Hearts though? Like 2.8 and 3. You know what
mm-hmm.
throws me off is like when they're doing the flashback scenes, they just use scenes from the PS2 games. So like they're not up, like they're up res, but they're not like, it's very jarring because they're going for that very cinematic animated look, right? Like Disney does.
Yeah,
But then the flashbacks are just like the PS2 graphics cutscenes. It's like, what are you doing? Like, really, really throws. It's really jarring, to say the least. But yeah.
it's funny that
Anyways,
she mentioned Xenoblade Chronicles, and then we're gonna get into FamiNEWS, everybody. But I'm like, I know if I pop in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in, I'm just gonna do New Game Plus and like straight run through that game because I'm gonna be so overpowered. Like a lot of my characters is like level 80 and close to 90 and stuff. And I'm like, I wonder, should I just run through and if I see like a level 69 or 70 animal that I could fight, just go in and battle and just murder him. Murder him.
yeah. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.
Well, everybody, it's time for FamiNEWS. Corey, take it away.
Oh, right. I gotta open that doc, right? That's it's over here by our window. Okay. Sorry, I was still looking at this PAX list. All right, our first news story, Ed. Oh, first of all, we should point out not really a news story, but the like we pointed out, the first MEO demo will be MEO, right? MEO or MEO?
Yeah.
MEO? Okay. I don't know. I've that demo will be out by the time this episode comes out. It comes out on the 19th. So you'll be able to start that. And that's pretty exciting. So check it out. But our first story here, Ed, is about Lego Horizon Adventures, the PlayStation game that is coming to Switch. But this story from Gamatsu states that Lego Horizon Adventures for Switch will be distributed by Solutions to Go, which is interesting. I'm just going to read this little excerpt here in the story if this ad will get out of my way. Lego Horizon Adventures is published by Sony Interactive Entertainment and developed by Studio Gobo and Guerrilla Games. The PlayStation 5 and PC versions of the game will be distributed by Sony Interactive Entertainment. The Switch version of Lego Horizon Adventures will be distributed by Solutions to Go, a video game publisher and global distributor based out of the Greater Toronto area, the company has announced. We are incredibly excited to partner with Sony Interactive Entertainment to bring Lego Horizon Adventures to global audience on the Nintendo Switch family of systems, says Solutions to Go Vice President and Global Publishing Rob Kleva in the press. This partnership underscores our commitment to delivering high-quality entertainment experiences to retail consumers around the world. Lego Horizons does not have a release date, but it does say it's coming out this holiday season on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, PC, Steam, and the Epic Game Store. That's interesting. I wonder if this Solutions to Go specializes in mobile stuff. That would be my guess, since this runs on a since the Switch runs on a mobile chip, right? Like a mobile phone chip.
Yeah.
I wonder if they specialize in that, because they did say PlayStation publishing in the Nintendo Direct. So Uh, whatever. This game looks cool. I'm glad the Switch. Still boggles my mind that the Switch is even getting this, but I wonder. We've had that discussion, but cool, neat.
I
Anything?
wonder. I hmm, I
Hmm.
so Sony is not a partner of Nintendo when it comes to publishing, right? Or
Hmm.
is that or that's different for MLB
Well,
the
uh,
show?
MLB publishes MLB the Show on Xbox and Switch. PlayStation Studios publishes it on PlayStation and PC. Is there a PC version?
Okay.
I
No,
think
it's not a PC.
there's not. I don't.
Hmm.
Yeah, so PlayStation only publishes it on
They're on the
PlayStation.
platform.
Yeah, MLB publishes it on Xbox and Switch, which is why it's on Game Pass every year. Because the MLB doesn't care about clearly doesn't care about video games, and Microsoft gets a cool game on Game Pass day one every year, right? So
Okay. So I'm assuming Sony is still not like a partner of Nintendo.
no,
So um
no,
and the reason I say that because I was thinking of the Super Nintendo days when they went their separate ways. In a
yeah,
sense. Because like Microsoft is somewhat a partner of Nintendo because of the games that they publish
yeah, but
on it.
Microsoft also has a very different approach to games than Sony does at this point, right? I mean, they want to be everywhere, and Nintendo is an easy place to be everywhere because everybody loves Nintendo. So
Because it's Xbox Game Studios, right? That does the publishing. I think that's the name that they go by.
Xbox Publishing is just what
Uh,
it's called, I think.
it's just Xbox Publishing. Okay.
Um, I could be wrong about that, but yeah,
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. I think that's cool.
yeah, I
You
think
know,
it's super cool.
like Sony's still doing the work, the development, and they allowing someone else to publish it. That's cool. That's a good
Yeah,
business.
yeah. Well,
For
I mean, we talked about this before, but I think we talked about how Sony's games have grown, quote unquote, grown up with their consumer base, right? But they don't have
Mhm.
nothing has really drawn in new younger audiences, right? Like they don't have anything that has. I mean, they've tried with like Sackboy and uh, some of these other, Ratchet and Clank has kind of stuck around, but that's kind of like a teenage audience with I feel like that's like a young teenager audience that they're aiming for. They're like a 10 to 13-year-old audience, and they never continued Sly or Jack. So,
Yeah.
I think Lego appeals to everybody, and putting it on a console that has primarily young children playing it.
I wouldn't say primary. I say
Well, that's like
a system that has a wide range.
right, but I'm saying like a lot of kids play Switch, and that's kind of like most kids' first console is a Nintendo console, uh, and so putting it where kids play is probably smart to get them used to an IP, right? And I actually would not be shocked if Astrobot came to the next console at all. The next Nintendo console. Because that's a
Mm,
game that I think that's a game that they're trying to get in a lot of people's hands. Uh, and I mean, also it depends if Nintendo wants it or not, right? Because like Horizon and Lego, yeah, that's you can get away with that because there's nothing like PlayStation branded about Aloy, right? She's not wearing like a PlayStation T-shirt or anything. Uh, but Astrobot, that whole game is based around Sony and PlayStation history, right? So maybe
yeah.
not, but I'm just wondering how like Sony is very clearly trying to expand their audience, and I mean that was very um, apparent with their PC releases, and now they're trying to garner the younger audiences, I think. And this and Astrobot are kind of like the first steps in doing that. So Astrobot looks cool, by the way.
Yeah. I I feel like there's so just gonna be more adults playing it.
What, the Lego or
Both
Astrobot?
games,
Oh.
Astrobot and Lego Horizon on Switch. I mean, yeah, I think there are going to be parents who have little kids who going to
Mm-hmm.
see this and be like, yeah, let's get it because it's Lego. But I think that's the difference between PlayStation and Nintendo. That's why I say a wide range, because I think Switch offers for the games. There's a wide range. Even when it's a E for everybody or a T for teen,
Mm-hmm.
adults, teens, kids, all going to be, if they're playing it on Nintendo. That's that. That's where people are going to go and play. I think if they go on PlayStation, even with some E-rated games, I think there's going to be a lot of adults only playing it and stuff. Because I don't think teens are going to really touch any E stuff. I think because like Call of Duty and uh, whatever Fortnite that they're doing and stuff.
Man.
But like a lot of like Astrobot is probably going to sell, but I think it's going to sell more to adult gamers than it is for kids being ready, for it. And stuff.
Mm-hmm. Talking about Fortnite, man. They are doing the Marvel thing hardcore right now. A lot of people are a lot of people are playing Fortnite right now. They are doing it. Um, Unabashedly unashamed, getting that Disney bag. I'm telling you,
Not
they're
mad at
using
him
that
at all.
Disney. They're using they're using that Disney bag to fight Apple still. I don't know if you saw that article that came out that Epic is still losing money because they're fighting Apple still.
Still, I thought it
So
was settled.
they're still fighting Apple. I read an article on The Verge and an article on Forbes today that said they're still losing money. I don't know how that's possible. I see my nephew spend money on Fortnite. I said if every kid is spending like a third of what they spend on Fortnite, like you should be fine.
Right.
I don't
I'm
get it,
like,
man.
y'all must. I mean, even outside of Fortnite, I'm like, y'all license engine that's used almost around the world. So y'all should definitely be making money in that sense.
Hmm. Well, they're also losing money by running that store because they're not making any money on that store.
Oh,
I
the
think the Epic store.
Apple Store.
I'm starting to wonder if like once these contracts run out, if they're even gonna get. I bet that store is shut down within the next 5 years. I just don't see them continuing that store. Look, they have an amazing game in Fortnite, right? I mean, Fortnite is a massive success. They don't need to they don't need to waste that money, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think that 6 month 1 year exclusive deal, you don't see that anymore with Epic Games.
Mm-mm. No, I mean they did that because they were making that Fortnite money, and then they were trying to like get people to go to their store, right? It's like the PC version of the Xbox situation of games skipping the Epic store. Is like, why would we bother putting it there? So,
Well, because of the yeah,
but
they tried anything
Xbox,
that they could. Oh, I was just saying they were trying to do anything they could to steal sales away from Steam, and
yeah,
well, that worked for a bit, but I'm like, shoot, look at Borderlands 3. Was it Borderlands? Oh, yeah, there's a lot of games.
yeah. Oh, Borderlands on PC, yeah, it didn't hit Steam for like a
Yeah,
year, and then it sold on PC. What do you know?
yeah, because
Yeah.
people, yeah,
Oh
Borderlands
man,
3
good
didn't
times.
hit you. Yeah, Borderlands 3 didn't hit well anyway when it came out.
I mean, it sold a ton. So sometimes I think because you don't like a game or the studio,
Mm-hmm.
you think the game just doesn't sell well, and I think you just it's not true.
So I think it was because of Black Friday. the year that when Borderlands came out and that Black Friday happened. Um, and I just seen it at like definitely at a lot of Best Buys. It was just bins of that game. Definitely for Xbox. Just bins of that game. Just I'm like, I know y'all didn't order a lot of this. I'm like, this has to be some kind of shipment that y'all
At,
got this game because I'm like, no one is touching this game at this price.
as of February of 2023, Borderlands 3 sold 18 million copies. And that was a year and a half ago. So I imagine it's probably around, it's definitely north of 20, especially because they were selling that Pandora collection or whatever. Remember that thing they had that was like $30 that was $150, but they're like, up, you have 3 months to upgrade to this and you get everything Borderlands in this one package. So I don't know. I got that package because in my mind I want to really like Borderlands, but when I play Borderlands, I don't know if I like Borderlands. So
yeah, I think this just me seeing the Black Friday stuff with all of the a lot of that just being in the bin, like at a lot of Best Buy. So that's why I was just like, did this game do any kind of numbers? Because after it came out, it was just nobody was talking about it. I'm just like y'all had a whole presentation about this, or what's his name had a whole presentation about this, and it's just
yeah. Well, I mean, Borderlands clearly peaked with Borderlands 2, right? I mean, the pre-sequel wasn't great. Borderlands is clearly Gearbox's moneymaker, especially after they try to compare Duke Nukem Forever to Half-Life, which is like, sure, Randy, sure. Next you're gonna compare Borderlands the movie to a Kurosawa film or something. Like
he actually has been quiet, Randy Pitchford.
No, he's blocking everybody that has given it a bad review.
No, I'm just talking about in general. Like I haven't heard anything from him. Like after
well, that's because 2K probably told him to shut up so they can sell copies of Borderlands because they own the studio now.
Right. Because like literally, like after he left, he just straight been quiet. Because I actually, when I went to go see Borderlands, I thought he was going to be in the movie.
I'm kind of shocked he didn't put himself in the movie. Kind of shocked. He seems like the kind of person that would want to be like front and center.
Well, I think this just like it was kind of a difficult process shooting that movie because while they were in the process of shooting it, COVID happened, so they had to halt production on it. So I wonder if there was some stuff that changed during that time. Who knows?
Who can say? Who can say? Oh, Ed, Moonstones are on sale for Disney Dreamlight Valley. Breaking news. Sorry. Our next story, Ed, is a sad one. Rachael Lillis, the voice actress for Misty and Jesse in the Pokemon TV series, not the newest one, but the long running original, has sadly passed away at the age of 46 due to a lost battle with cancer. This tweet comes from Veronica Taylor. We all know Rachael Lillis from the many wonderful roles she played. She filled our Saturday mornings and before and after school hours with her beautiful voice, her terrific comic timing, and her remarkable acting skills. And then there's a statement here that says, "It is with a very heavy heart that I share the news of the passing of Rachael Lillis on Saturday evening, August 10th, 2024. Rachael was an extraordinary talent, a bright light that shone through her voice, whether speaking or singing. She will be forever remembered for the many animated roles she played, with her iconic performances as Misty and Jesse being the most beloved. Rachael was so thankful for all the generous love and support she was given as she battled with cancer, It truly made a positive difference. Her family also wishes to thank you as they take this time to grieve privately. A memorial is being planned for a future date. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
always
was.
sad when you hear stories like this, especially like so young, man,
Yeah,
46. I mean, yeah.
and there was a lot of tribute people were paying to her on her passing. So
Hmm.
just like stories about her voice acting when kids was growing up watching the Pokemon TV show and everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
wish you rest in peace. And
Yeah, it's sad. I don't like talking about death. It's hard. So,
yeah,
um, but yeah, I hope her family, you know, heals from this, and uh, hope she rests in peace, as you say.
yes,
Let's move on to this next story, Ed. It's a little bit brighter news. Tango Gameworks, the studio that Microsoft closed mere months ago, has been saved. They have been purchased by the PUBG parent company Krafton, along with the Hi-Fi Rush IP. The statement from Krafton reads, today, this is on August 12th, this statement was made. Today, we welcome the talented people at Tango Gameworks to our team, marking an exciting moment in the company's global expansion and its first significant investment in the Japanese video game market. The strategic move will include the rights to Tango Gameworks' acclaimed IP Hi-Fi Rush. And then there's like a little history about the studio and the games that they made and that kind of stuff. And then at the bottom of this article, as part of the strategic agreement, Krafton intends to collaborate with Xbox and ZeniMax to ensure a smooth transition and maintain continuity at Tango Gameworks, allowing the talented team to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects. Krafton intends to support the Tango Gameworks team to continue its commitment to innovation and delivering fresh and exciting experiences for fans. There will be no impact on the existing game catalog of The Evil Within, The Evil Within 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, and the original Hi-Fi Rush game. The integration reinforces Krafton's dedication to expanding its global footprint and enhancing its portfolio with innovative and high-quality content.
so those games still belong to Tango Gameworks and
No, those
Krafton
games
is
belong to Xbox. The only So Krafton owns the Hi-Fi Rush IP. Microsoft still owns all of the other IP. Microsoft also still has the publishing rights to the first game. So
Mhm.
they will have to work with Krafton to publish it anywhere else they feel like they need to publish it. But it's already everywhere except for Switch. So that would be the only place this game doesn't exist.
Right.
Which I assume is coming shortly because it's been rated for Switch. So any time now. Maybe Tokyo Game Show would be a cool place to reveal that. That'd be a nice place
Yes.
to reveal it. Or maybe it'll be revealed at opening night live and we just missed it because we're recording before. So but
um,
I'm really psyched for this. Hi-Fi
so
Rush is an amazing video game.
so were they still open after
Well, they had like
Microsoft announced this?
they have a transitional kind of period where the studio um like they it's not like they instantly closed, right? Like when you close a
Right.
studio, especially in a place that's not America, you have to give them a runway to like get their stuff in order. I know Japan has a very um, valued if your studio if your business closes, like they'll help you find new jobs in that space. So there's like a very protected a worker protected uh, uh, government thing in Japan.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's kind of where this was kind of born out of. You know, obviously Arcane Austin didn't get the same treatment because this is America and they close their doors the day
That it was announced.
it was announced. So yeah, or like within the week or whatever. So I'm very happy about this. I mean, I
Yeah,
know people think Craft On is kind of shady in some places, but
questionable.
um, look, Tango gets to live another day. They are an amazing studio. They've made some incredible video games. Ghostwire, Tokyo, and Hi-Fi Rush specifically. I know people kind of like The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2. I don't play horror games, so I don't know. So yeah, that's great news. And the fact that they might get to expand Hi-Fi Rush into a sequel is even better.
And I think Tango Gameworks is happy now because they're back to making multi-console games, multi-platform. I should say.
Yeah, and I think that'll do them. I mean, well, they 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 put Hi-Fi Rush on sale on PlayStation, and it was already on PC. So technically, I guess they kind of were anyway. Um, but yeah, no, I know what you're saying. This feels more, ironically, more secure than if they were still under Microsoft in a way.
So because I know everybody was just like, with this transition, with this business deal, Hi-Fi Rush 2 is probably now in production.
I mean,
The
and John
assumption
Johannes,
there.
that's a talent you don't want to lose, right? That is a
Yes.
talent you do not want to lose. And the fact that he was thinking about, like, if the studio was closing, he was thinking about leaving the games industry entirely. Like, man, that would be a huge loss for this industry. And I know, like, it's all about the studio and the people that work really hard to make these games, but he's like he's he's a visionary, and
He's
he's such a
he worked with Shinji Mikami. I'm like,
yeah,
who's going to lose?
he's his protege, right? I mean,
Right. I was like, you're going to lose that? Oh, shoot. Please.
yeah, that was a dumb decision by Microsoft. I'm sorry. Like, I love Xbox, and I know, like, it probably was a Microsoft decision and not an Xbox decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said you have to close 4 studios, go, and then you have to pick the ones that make the least amount of sense. And I don't know, it's whatever. We could have a whole nother conversation. I'm happy they're saved. I'm glad Hi-Fi Rush gets to see another day. I can't wait to see that game on Switch and how well it does, because that game is going to murder on Switch when it comes out. That'd be an amazing launch title for the Switch 2 also, by the way.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
mm-hmm.
and I kind of wonder, just like, if it does come on Switch 2 or the successor, do you think they're going to do just digital, or they're going to be like, let's get into this physical space?
I assume it will be digital, and then Limited Run will put out a physical. That would be my assumption. Right.
Because I think it's only digital on all platforms. I don't think
it
there's
is.
a physical version.
It is, but Limited Run is doing the physical.
Oh.
And there's a PlayStation physical and an Xbox physical. Like, it's also up to Krafton, right? Like, I mean, Krafton owns it now, and if they want to pay, to publish a physical, then that'd be super cool.
Is this still in production at Limited Run, or do you actually get it?
Probably. I mean, 2 sequels will probably be out by the time they get those games out. Gosh,
right.
Run. For how much people love that company, they have a terrible business model, man. Like, man, the fact that it took Pat like a year and a half to get Castlevania is stupid. I mean, I know they've gotten better, but it's ridiculous how long it takes people to get games from them.
Because I'm just
that's my Limited Run rant for the night.
Because I'm just like, we already gave y'all money. Do you mean you need someone else's pre-order for y'all to go and order a copy of a game to get these
Yeah.
printed. Like,
Yeah.
come on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. It's anyways,
A mess.
moving on before I start getting angry. Our last story, Ed, is about opening night live. And of course, this news will you'll already know this news by the time, we this episode comes out, but there will be new game announcements at opening night live, including Sega, global premiere of an unannounced project from Sega. What that means is this going to be the start of their retro revival of games like Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio and Altered Beast or whatever else they're going to try to put out. I don't know. Some people were saying like, oh, it's going to be Persona 6. I'm like, well, they would have said Atlas. I mean, right. I know Sega owns Atlas, but like, and some people were also speculating it could be another Yakuza game.
So this is the thing about it. One of my friends definitely wants it to be Shadow Force 3 or 4, whatever. The biggest thing they could actually be doing, Sega wise, and I don't want to say it's a Sunday game, please. They could do that another day. But if they're going to do something big for an unannounced game, Phantasy Star 5 would be the talk of the town.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, of course, Phantasy Star 4 is, was on the Sega Genesis, but I'm like, if you could bring out a 5 and not like the online ones, because they do good with their online. Sega knows that the JRPG genre is hot and making money. So why not get the Phantasy Star team or whoever and get a 5 out? Now, some people want Skies of Arcadia too. I'm like, well, first they got to re-release Skies of Arcadia in the first place because a lot of people still have not played that game.
Facts.
So,
should have bought a GameCube or a Dreamcast. Should have played one of the best RPGs of all time, but nobody did.
Pretty much.
Also, I just admitted to Jeff Gardner I've never played Chrono Trigger, so whatever. No, wait, was that? No, that was the other episode we recorded last week. I don't remember, man. Look, we recorded 2.5 Boss Rush podcasts this week. They're all merging together, man. But yeah, shout out by the way to we had what's his name? Adam Gumbert from Respawn Aim Fire on, and Nick Fakorian from the Friday Night Gamecast. It was fun. I've never interacted with them through voice before, so it was really fun. That was really fun.
I think this stuff have been picking. I think this stuff been posting on Twitter. I've been seeing some of their stuff.
Yeah,
I haven't had time to listen to it, which I probably should do.
Yeah, I'm after PAX, once everything settles down, and I know we're gonna get into this topic of the show real quick after this, but I want to do more like random conversations with people that aren't within Boss Rush. Just sit down, do a podcast. It can be part of Boss Rush Plus, and we'll throw it out there, or we'll throw it on Patreon as an exclusive and throw the video on YouTube or something, or just like either like a spoiler cast of that's not related to book club, which obviously Pat would be involved in because in like just conversations about things that are going on. I feel like I know we do a lot, but I feel like there's like a part of the industry that we're missing, and there's content that we're missing. And so like that would be something that I would really want to do, is get people from outside of Boss Rush together and kind of like we're doing now, on the Boss Rush podcast, but like really sit down and have like a conversation about something. Again, I don't know where that time is going to come from, or what exactly we're going to do, but that's just something I really want to do. So, anyways,
So like me and Austin situation where we like, we're gonna talk for 15 minutes. How in the heck is it 7 o'clock? Why has it been 4 hours and 39 minutes?
yeah,
Let's just talking.
yeah.
I love
Sega,
Austin.
everybody, announcing games
Yes.
at Gamescom. All right, Ed, let's get into this topic of the show, shall we?
Okay. Yes.
This week's Banter of the Week is from Sam Reeder, a contributor to the Boss Rush Network. He wrote a Boss Rush Banter, or they wrote a Boss Rush Banter. More series should have complete endings. And there's a lot of interesting ways we could take this, because there are games that accidentally had the question from last week in there. Nobody will ever know because nobody will ever see the doc, but I saw it, so I deleted it. A lot of games, there are games that have like good endings, right? Like, I think we can look at Tears of the Kingdom without spoiling anything, but I think that had a very, very, very complete ending, right? That ending was very strong. It kind of tied up a lot of things. I know the after credits kind of scene kind of maybe opened it up for a third game in that world, but Nintendo already kind of said that they weren't returning there. So, but then you have examples like, remember the Prince of Persia reboot, the cell shaded one,
Yeah.
where like it just kind of ended without the ending, and then you had to pay $15 for the DLC, which was quote unquote the ending, but then it didn't end anyway because they left it open for a sequel that they never made. It's stuff like that. So like I don't know, do you have any examples of games that don't have good endings, or they don't have endings at all? Really?
Well, let me address it from this way. This is an old topic because during the PS3 360 era, and a little bit of PS2 also and Xbox, there would be games that they would give you a ending, but then like after the credits roll, it was supposed to be hinting that a sequel is coming, so the story
Mm-hmm.
would be unfinished.
Especially if you're looking at like a trilogy of games, right? Where like,
mm-hmm.
and this goes for trilogies in general, where like the first one is kind of like usually like a complete experience with a couple like threads for like, if this first thing is successful, we can build a sequel off of these threads that we kind of left open, right? Like,
Yes.
the big example is Star Wars, right? Where A New Hope, like, yes, the Death Star blows up, everybody celebrates, but Darth Vader's ship kind of just spins away, right? He survives. So you can build a sequel off of that. Or like,
Yes.
like Gears, right? Gears 1, you kill Ram and you think the war is over, but then like, you see like the caves are still there and there's still locust hordes underground. So like the war is technically not over, but you killed the general. And then in two really leads into 3, right? And
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 leads into 3, right? And
Right.
like it's the second game in particular in these trilogies for the most part. I mean, there's examples that don't, right? Like Uncharted 2 doesn't lead into Uncharted 3, or the Tomb Raider games don't really lead into each other either, right? I mean,
Right.
I would argue Shadow builds off of Rise of the Tomb Raider, but Rise of the Tomb Raider is kind of like a complete experience, right? But like, Gears, Halo's the famous one, right? Like Halo 2 just ends without an ending. It's missing a third of the game because Halo was supposed to end after Halo 2, right? And then
Yeah.
They didn't finish it, famously didn't finish it. And still it's considered one of the greatest games of all time, right? One of the most influential multiplayer games of all time, one of the greatest first person shooters of all time. It wasn't even finished, and they rebuilt that game in 8 months, right? So like,
Yeah.
man, speaking of Bungie, going problems all the way back then. That's another story again. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it really has to do with that second game usually.
Well, I, I think the thing about it is that, like, from my perspective, it's always the first game, the debut game of a series, and something that when there's a cliffhanger or unanswered questions, the expectation during that time was that it would get a sequel, and so because of good sales, and
Mhm. Well, also like
but when
sales
that
expectations were lower back then, budgets were
mhm,
lower. It took less time to develop games. I mean, remember like from the time it took, the coalition to make Gears 4 to Gears 5, we had 4 games on 360, right? Like
right,
we had 1, 2, 3 in Judgment, and then we had 4 and then 5, and now like E Day now I guess
yeah,
is like it's gonna be almost 8 years before since the last Gears game, or like Uncharted or Mass Effect. I think that's why we have such nostalgia for these characters too. Is like we spent a lot of time with these characters in a shorter amount of time, right? And it's like it's hard to get excited for a sequel that's, I don't know, 5 years away at least,
mhm.
you know. And I don't know, and like I think Insomniac did a great job with Miles Morales of kind of having that interstitial game with Miles Morales, and it seems like they're going to have more, right, with Silk and Venom, and then that'll probably lead into X-Men and Wolverine and stuff like that. But like we need more of those types of experiences, um, instead of just waiting for a sequel. And like if your game bombs, like you're not going to get a sequel, or like you
Well,
have the game as a
that's
service that you're like. That's the other thing too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Like the game as a service model, though, right? Like you can never tie anything up because you need your game to continue. And
right.
and the thing is like Destiny actually wrapped everything up with the final shape, and now they're kind of like. And don't get me wrong, I actually like the story they're telling right now in episode Echoes, and I think it's interesting. But like some of this kind of feels like, well, it's our only moneymaker, so we have to continue to make content for this. So how do we do that? Oh, well, we'll just tell these little stories that I don't know, you know. It's I don't know, man.
Well, that
I
that's
miss
the
I miss
that's
the
the
endings.
that's the problem with cliffhangers in games like Vanquish.
Mm.
You do get an ending of what happens to a certain character. I'm not going to spoil it because you guys can go play it, but it's still cliffhanger because the the main villain antagonist that you were supposed to go against is still alive, and you don't really get to Platinum Games and Sega didn't finish that story because they left it off as a cliffhanger. So it's just like you would never get that resolved. Um and then it's if you look at Team Eco on PlayStation, like a lot of their games, um they all are in one world and they are different parts of stuff, but Team Eco closed down. There are no more, so you don't get a finality of what those games are like, of everything wrapped up. Like you just won't never get anything. So it's always that, to me, if we're gonna do a ending to a game, don't put in expectations that the game is going to sell, which will lead into another game. Because the one game that EA released that didn't do well, that bombed, the Magic one. Um
Oh, Immortals of Avium.
Immortals of Avion. Like it was a good game. It's a great game, but look on how it sold and how EA kind of distanced itself, and they had to lose a lot of people. It has a cliffhanger ending with it. So but we may never get that sequel to finish up that story and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got a ending, but it's the cliffhangers definitely after the credits that messes up the flow. Because I know they'd be like, we want to tell more. Well, the tell more is going to have two options. You sold well enough so you could tell more, or you're hoping that you could put some DLC out, which will sell to help you be able to tell more. Um, and when it comes to Nintendo, they wrap up their whole story in their games. Everything is right there. You get the ending, that's it, and then you move on. There's no cliffhangers or anything because their next game is going to probably be something different within that series. So I think it's I, I keep going. Titanfall 2 has a good ending, but there's a cliffhanger. Now look what happened. Now look what Respawn. They're doing Apex. Uh they're doing Star Wars stuff. So it's just like, will we ever get a Titanfall 3 that will happily continue the story of Titanfall 2 or have some involvement with Titanfall 2? Because if it doesn't, then we're literally left with an ending that doesn't wrap up the series that you're talking about or and everything. I'd rather have a story or an ending that wraps up everything, and then you tell a new story if that sequel comes out and stuff. Um, and then there's some endings that I feel cheated out of. Um, the one that Ninja Theory did for
Devil May
Enslaved.
Cry. Oh.
Nah, Enslaved. Oh, Devil May Cry is another one. Even though it
Mm-hmm.
even though it wrapped up and there's DLC, Capcom should. I know because of the sales and the outburst and outrage with a lot of people, and people still giving it, their opinions about it. It told a compelling story from beginning to end, and it was
Mm-hmm.
so good that it was just like, I wish I had a DMC Devil May Cry 2
Mm-hmm.
to this reboot, because Ninja Theory really, not only did they focus on the combat, they focused on the story. They focused on the narrative, and it was so balanced and well put together. But people was just so had their viewpoint about the series, so we never got anything. And of course, once again, sell numbers
Mm-hmm.
about that. Um, but I I I think this is something that we have always been arguing ever since maybe even the NES days and stuff. Because sometimes they be like, you'll beat a game and you won the battle and stuff, but they'll give you an epilogue and then it says to be continued in this game, or just to be continued, and no sequel ever came out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and like you mentioned, the endings that we just don't get in nothing. You get the final shot off the boss, you get some coins or whatever, and then it just goes to credits. So there's no satisfactory. You'd be like, wait a minute, where's the outcome to this?
Yeah.
You know. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I think, like I said, this is nothing new or anything, but we're in an age where it's just best just to give us an ending to the game. I
Yeah.
don't understand. You can spend all this money on cinematics throughout the game, but
Mm-hmm.
then you cannot spend that same money when the game wraps up.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think games studios just don't know how to end games. It feels like, and like, to be fair, like, I mean, there's I think there's more important things in a game than a good ending, you know? Especially if like you're trying to build a franchise that you hope people will like, right? And you got to make sure. I would rather have like a stellar opening and like great gameplay throughout and like a mediocre ending than, I mean, like, none of the Tomb Raider games end very well. I mean, those games don't end very well at all, right? But the games are awesome. And that's what I remember of those. I think, one of the best endings in games, I think, is Mass Effect 1, to be honest. But, like, again, they still leave it open because they're building a trilogy,
Yes.
So, it's the
And
enemy before the enemy at that point.
And speaking of Mass Effect, the Mass Effect 3 endings, and that controversy was nonsense. Utter nonsense.
I liked Mass Effect 3's ending. I know I'm in the minority, but to me, like, I don't want to get into it right now. That's a conversation for a different day. And I would also like to have that conversation with Laurent too, because he loves that series. So I think that would be interesting to have with him too. But yeah, Mass Effect 3's ending was fine, everybody. So, well, Ed, it's time for Pak Watch. There's a lot coming out. This week, everybody. This one is actually, I've been hearing a lot of interesting things about this game. Mika and the Witch's Mountain. This is kind of like, I think this is the Banjo-esque spiritual
3D platformer.
Like, yeah, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Join Mika, a young and tenacious trainee witch, as she soars through the sky as Island of Wind's premier delivery person. Embark on your magic broom across colorful landscapes, bringing goods to the even more colorful island dwellers as you explore every nook and cranny of this cozy, cute world. Also on the 21st, My Lovely Empress. My Lovely Empress is a mix of resource management and empire simulator where you manage your kingdom and relationship with your subjects and neighbors. Neat. On 8/22, Rise Eternal War. Rise Eternal War tells a bloody tale of Arthbane, a great general who led the last stand to reclaim his homeland of Ars Rare from the foreign invaders. Jeez, what is happening with these games? 8/22 also, Tales of Toyotoki, Arrival of the Witch. Hikaru finds himself out of luck and homeless on a unfamiliar island. While avoiding pit vipers and angry senior committee members, he comes across a witch in a very similar situation. Hikaru finds himself out of luck and homeless on an unfamiliar island. Okay. I still don't know what that game is, but neat. And on 8/27, Crypt Custodian. Sweep up the afterlife as Pluto the cat in this charming action-adventure Metroidvania about life, relationships, and moving on. Step into the shoes of Pluto, mischievous cat who has just died and landed in Afterlife's palace. Okay, that sounds neat. Yeah. Any of these catching your eye, Ed?
Not really. To be honest.
Oh man, good times.
Yeah, Mika, yeah, but I'm sorry, everybody. There's just like Star Wars. I think this is the week Star Wars Outlaws come out, so that would have been my focus.
Mm-hmm. I'm so excited for that game.
I am too. I really don't care about the review scores and stuff. I really want to play that game.
I know.
but I just can't do it till next month.
Yeah, I'm 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 so excited for that. So, all right, Ed, it's time for question block. We only have one question tonight, so all the one true James wants to know is, please, can you tell the world how much you love Elite Beat Agents?
So everybody, Elite Beat Agents. This was published by Nintendo, developed by Ines. It was released November 8th, 2006 for the DS. Um, it is the international counterpart to Osu Tatake Oendan, which is a Japanese rhythm game. And the reason why I love Elite Beat Agents and why I say Elite Block Agents is because you know how people love to pop the bubbles on bubble wrap and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Elite Beat Agents is that, but set to a rhythm, set to the music, and it tells a story. It tells stories of different people that you go out and help, and at the end, you do get a conclusion. For it. All the songs that's in there are cover songs, but they are licensed songs. So you got the Jackson 5 ABC, you got Survivor from Destiny's Child, you got Skater Boy from Avril Lavigne, uh and things like that. You're My Inspiration is a big one because it takes place during Christmas and it deals with a father who turns into a ghost.
Mm.
You have to watch the video, but it when you have your headphones into it. It's about keeping the rhythm and popping it and moving it back and forth, and then when it gets difficult because you got to keep popping it, you got to floor around and everything. You don't really get to see what's going on at the top screen, but you see the agents dancing to cheer you up, and everything. And so when you're in a flow, it feels good. I love it because it was my break time game when I used to work at JCPenney outlet. So I would bring my DS, I would be my 15 minutes, I pull it out, got my headphones in, like my Sony headphones, pop that mug in the headphone port, get onto a song and pop, 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 and just like go crazy on it. And then when I finished it, I could hit replay and check to see how I did. Um, it there's like I think like 2 or 3 games in Japan, and there's only just this one special game, Elite Beat Agents, for America, because Rhythm Heaven started becoming popular during that time. And in a way, Rhythm Heaven is still popular, but Ines doesn't make the Elite Beat games, and Nintendo hasn't asked them to develop anymore. And it might be because of the licensing, like the cost might have been much, um, and they were probably expecting to sell a lot for it. But it's a game that I cherish and I love because I was playing it every day at work on my break, and when I got home, I would charge up my DS, and play it while it's charging. And it's just it gives you a good high, a good feel, popping everything on beat, and memorizing where everything is coming, because like there's gonna be some circles that will be like 2 3 where you have to stay on that circle, so you'll be like pop 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 pop, and everything with the um on the touchpad with the stylus. So my love for it is just like the stories are wacky. It has a great art visual. It's the black bold line. It's common sense kind of. Um but it's like it's really really good. So um that is my love for Elite Beat Agents. Um it's just it takes me back to my old days in the 2000s. Um and like I wanted a sequel, to it because I thought the games did sell well, but I think it was a limited quantity, so I don't know how well it did sell. But people who played the game really enjoyed it. Um, so that's my answer,
Nice.
James.
I've never played it, so I can't tell you.
Yeah.
That was a DS game, right?
Yes, it was a DS game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cause yeah, it just no one expected that series to ever actually come here. I think it was because it's such a international series. I don't think a lot of coverage was for that game until Elite BA just came here, and then everybody was just like, "Well, this is based off this series
Mm-hmm.
for it."
Yeah. Cool. We did it. We did the
Yay.
thing. Ed.
Yes. Everybody, thanks for listening and or watching Nintendo Pow Block, which is part of the Boss Rush Network. If you enjoyed our discussion, please do subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast applications. You can support us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye everybody. Woohoo!
Goodbye.
Bye.
Wow. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.